Each atom has a dense center called a nucleus.
Hello everyone, I hope you all must be fit and fine at home. Good. So today our topic is Bohr's atomic model. So in Bohr's atomic model, we'll start with the postulates of Bohr's atomic model first. So what are the various postulates? First is concept of nucleus, that is nuclear concept. Okay, what is it in nuclear concept? That every atom consists of a nucleus at its center, and that nucleus is composed of whole positive charge on the atom. Like suppose if this is the atom, and here in the center there will be nucleus, this is the nucleus. Whole positive charge is concentrated at the nucleus because nucleus contain protons. Yes, nucleus contains protons, so total positive charge is concentrated inside the nucleus. And approximately whole mass, because when electrons are revolving around the nucleus, electrons have negligible mass. Now you all know what is the mass of electrons, that is 9.1 into 10 raised to the power minus 31 kg, that is very small. So negligible mass is with the electrons, but whole mass, most of the mass is with protons and neutrons, they are inside the nucleus. So what is nuclear concept? That a massive body with whole of the positive charge is at the center of atom, which is called nucleus. So this is the nuclear concept. Next is, now we say all electrons revolve around the nucleus in an atom. So there is a particular condition, only if the orbits satisfy those conditions, that orbits are possible. That is condition of permissible orbits, or this is called quantum condition. Now this was the special work done by the Bohr's quantum condition. So next is, second postulate is quantum condition. Now this is the quantum condition. What is the quantum condition? Like suppose electron is revolving in an orbit of radius r. Suppose here the electron is revolving, radius of the orbit is r. Then if angular momentum of the orbit, now this is the formula for angular momentum, mvr. If angular momentum of the orbit is integral multiple of h over 2 pi, then only that orbit is permissible. Electron can revolve only in that orbit in which angular momentum is given by nh over 2 pi. Okay, so here this is called quantum condition because n is an integer. It cannot have any value. It is an integer. It can have value like 1, 2, 3 and so on. So this is the quantum condition. Third postulate is stationary orbits. Now this postulate explains stability of the atom. You know, one of the major limitation of Rutherford's that we have discussed in previous classes, the major limitation was he was not able to explain the stability of the atom. Now here Bohr is able to explain the stability just by saying that these orbits are stationary. Now what is the meaning of stationary? Stationary orbit means when electrons are revolving in the orbit, they will not radiate any kind of energy or they will not absorb any kind of energy. Means there is no exchange of energy between the electrons and the surrounding. So stationary orbit means there is no radiation or absorption of energy. That is why these orbits are called stationary. Stationary doesn't mean that electron is at rest. Electron is moving, but it is not radiating or absorbing any kind of energy. Okay, so after that, next is fourth postulate, that is frequency condition. Now here what is the frequency condition? That energy radiated or absorbed, h nu, that is given by E2 minus E1. Now what is this E2 and E1? This is energy absorbed or energy radiated. That is given by energy difference in two levels. Now when electron jumps from higher orbit to lower orbit, now things can move by themselves from higher to lower. So it radiates energy in terms of photons. That energy is given by h nu. But if electron move from lower to higher orbit, it needs some energy. So it absorbs the energy given by h nu. but it is always E2 minus E1. Now what is E2 and E1? E2 is the energy of final level at which electron has to go, and E1 is the energy of initial level at which electron was initially. So h nu should be equal to E2 minus E1. So these are the postulates of Bohr's atomic model. Once again, quickly revise this nuclear concept. Every atom consists of a nucleus at its center and electrons are revolving around that. Whole mass and positive charge is concentrated in the nucleus. Then only those orbits are possible in which angular momentum is integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Then stationary orbits, that when electrons are revolving around the nucleus, then they will not radiate or they will not absorb any kind of energy. After that, frequency condition, whatever be the energy radiated or energy absorbed, that is given by this formula E2 minus E1. Okay, after that, coming to its mathematical portion, we'll calculate first how to calculate the radius of an orbit by using Bohr's model of atom. Now, according to Bohr, when electron is revolving around the nucleus, suppose in circular orbit, we have taken a special concept of circular orbit only. Suppose electron is revolving, this is your nucleus at the center having charge Ze. Z is the atomic number of the atom. Now electron is revolving around it in the circular orbit with speed suppose v. This is r is the radius of the orbit. Then to revolve in a circular path, a force is always required. Now what is the name of that force? Correct, it is centripetal force. Like what you thought of, that is correct. It is centripetal force, and centripetal force is given by mv square over r. Now this centripetal force is provided by the force of attraction between electron and the nucleus. So electrostatic force is given by K, Q1, Q2. Q1 is E, Q2 is Ze divided by r square. Okay, so this is our electrostatic force between electron and nucleus. Okay, now here r get cancelled, so we'll get r is equal to K Ze square divided by mv square. Give it number 1. Now this is not the expression for the radius. We are calculating radius of the orbit, because this radius includes velocity. We need some constant numbers over here to calculate the radius. Okay, give it number 1. Then using Bohr's quantum condition, that angular momentum should be equal to nh upon 2 pi. From here calculate r. R will be nh divided by 2 pi m into v. Now comparing equation first and second, both are giving you expression for r. So comparing first and second, calculate the value of v. Now you all can solve side by side. Compare first and second. Comparing first and second, find the expression for v. We will get k Ze square over mv square. This is equal to nh over 2 pi mv. Now see, m get cancelled, 1 v get cancelled. So expression for v comes out to be, taking v on that side, so we'll get 2 pi k Ze square divided by nh. So this is the expression for velocity. Now it doesn't include any radius term and all. So you can write this third. This will give you the expression for velocity of an electron in an orbit. Okay, this is the expression for velocity. Now using this velocity either in equation number 1 or in equation number 2. So you can use it in either equation. I will use it in equation number 2. Here simple v is there. Even you can use it in equation number 1 to calculate r. The answer will be same. So I am doing it with equation number 2. So after this video you will do it with equation number 1 also, and you will send me WhatsApp of this calculation that you have solved. So v is 2 pi k Ze square upon nh. Using this in equation number, we have to use this in equation number 2. So using this in equation number 2, r is nh divided by 2 pi m v. Put the value of v, that is 2 pi k Ze square divided by nh. So when you will solve it, r comes out to be n square h square divided by 4 pi square m k z e square. So this is the expression for radius of the hydrogen, radius of any orbit. Hydrogen ke liye will do particular case. So this is the radius of any orbit, that is given by r is n square h square over 4 pi square m k z e square. This is the expression for radius. Okay, clearly on what factor does it depend? It is directly proportional to n. N is also your principal quantum number. H is Planck's constant, has fixed value 6.62 into 10 is power minus 34. 4 is constant, pi square is constant, m is mass of electron, that is having value 9.1 into 10 is power minus 31. K is your constant, dielectric constant, 9 into 10 is power 8. Z is the atomic number, whatever atom you are using, so you will use that Z value for that. For example, if I am using hydrogen, I will use Z equals to 1. And E is the charge on electron, that is 1.6 into 10 is power minus 19. So when you put all the values, R comes out to be this. This is the expression for radius. And see, all other things are constant, so we can say that R is proportional to, so actually what is R? R is proportional to n square divided by Z. Like for first orbit, radius is 1 over Z. For second orbit, it is 4 over Z. Because when you put n equals to 2, that 2 square is 4. For third orbit, it is 9 over Z. Means radius of the orbits increases at the ratio of 1 ratio 4 ratio 9 ratio 16 and so on. So radius is proportional to n square. नीचे आपका Z, that for particular atom that is constant. For example, अगर आप hydrogen ले रहे हो, then this Z is 1. So R is proportional to n square. So orbits radius are in the ratio of 1 ratio 4 ratio 9 ratio 16 and so on. Higher is the number of orbit, higher is the radius of that orbit. Now for coming to hydrogen atom, for hydrogen atom Z equals to 1. When you put all other values, now see, I will write the expression of R here again. R is n square h square over 4 pi square m k z e square. Now when you put all the values, n as 1 because hydrogen atom has only one orbit, Z is 1, mass. When you put everything over here, R comes out to be 0.53 into 10 raised to power minus 10 meter, and you can write it as approximately 0.53 angstrom because 10 raised to power minus 10 is angstrom. So this is the radius of hydrogen atom. Similarly, we can calculate velocity of hydrogen atom. We have done that formula for velocity given by equation number 3. Put all the values over there and velocity comes out to be 3 into 10 raised to power 8 divided by 137 for hydrogen atom in its first orbit. This is velocity of light, so we can write it as C over 137. Means जो electron की speed है, that is 1 by 137 times the speed of light. Still it is quite high. So electron keeps on revolving with this much speed. This is the speed of electron in the hydrogen atom in first orbit. So you all will send me this work also where you have calculated velocity. Okay, during the class hours only, because this video is short. After watching this video, you will first find the radius by equation, second equation, then you will find the velocity, and you will send me all these calculations within the class time. Next is total energy of electron in an orbit. Okay, so what is the total energy of an electron in the orbit? Now from the same diagram, till the time I am erasing the board, think about which two types of energy an electron possesses while revolving in an orbit. Okay, now check whether you are correct or not. When electron is moving with velocity v, it is having kinetic energy. Next, it is having potential energy, electrostatic potential energy, because these are charged particles, they are having energy, they are attracting basically. Z is positive, electron is negative, so they are having electrostatic potential energy. Kinetic energy is half mv square. Potential energy is K, Q1, Q1 is E, Q2 is ZE divided by R. So this is your potential energy. Now for kinetic energy, we will express it in this form. How to express it? Kinetic energy is half mv square. If you remember the first equation, while deriving the expression for radius of orbit, we have taken that centripetal force is equal to electrostatic force, K ZE into E divided by R square. From here, mv square comes out to be K ZE square over R. So using this value of mv square over here, kinetic energy comes out to be half K ZE square over R. So this is your kinetic energy. And here, while writing potential energy, we will write here charge on electron is negative, so we will put negative sign here. So potential energy is minus K ZE square over R. Because in total energy we need to consider sign also. Now what will be total energy? Total energy of electron, it is given by potential energy plus kinetic energy. So total energy is equal to minus K ZE square over R plus half K ZE square over R. So solving it further, K ZE square over R minus 1 plus 1 by 2. So it is minus K ZE square over 2R. So this is the total energy. Now you can't leave the expression up till here. Put here value of R. जो आपने R की value calculate करी है, put that value over here. So we will get total energy as minus K ZE square over 2 and put here the value of R. When you put all the values of R, then your final expression comes out to be, you have to solve it. I am just writing the final expression. When you put the value of R, in this expression, total energy is minus K ZE square divided by 2R. Okay, and you know what is the value of R? R value was n square h square over 4 pi square m K ZE square. Put this value over here and find what is total energy. Now I am writing total energy as E only. So total energy comes out to be minus, yes, you will solve it. I am writing just the expression. It is minus 2 pi square m K square Z square e raised to power 4 divided by n square h square. So this is the expression for total energy. Again, this is for any atom. You can calculate it for hydrogen atom. For hydrogen atom, Z equals to 1. So when you will solve it, E comes out to be minus 13.6 divided by n square. When we put Z equals to 1, for hydrogen atom, this is the energy in electron volt. This energy is in electron volt, minus 13.6 divided by m square. Coming back to expression for energy, it is coming out to be negative. What is the purpose of negative sign? What is the importance of negative sign? Negative sign indicates that the electron is bound to the nucleus. Whenever total energy is negative, means that thing is bound to nucleus. Now this electron is bound to nucleus. To free this electron, obviously you need to provide some energy. Okay, so this is your total energy. For hydrogen atom, Z ko 1 put kara. So this is the energy for hydrogen atom in electron volts. Okay, this is all about today. Tomorrow we'll start from this topic only, from the energy. We will calculate energy in different orbits and hence study the spectral series. Okay, this is all for today. Whatever work I have assigned you within the video, send me that work right now during the class hours. Thank you everyone.